I'm Ashley McDonald, and I'm the Public Information Officer with Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue. Our firefighters have a very tough job, and today I'm putting myself in their boots to see just how tough it is. On Adventures in Firefighting.
We're at the Manson Pike Trailhead, and I'm really excited. We've got the guys at Station 7 that are going to be teaching us a little bit of water rescue, and I may even get to try out some of the techniques myself. We're here with Captain Clay Walls. Clay, thank you for being with us today. Tell us a little bit about the water rescue team.
Okay, the Special Operations Firefighters, one of the incidents that we respond to are water calls, water rescue calls. Water rescues basically fall into two different categories. You have flood water and you have swift water. Flood water would be, we have a big rain event, water comes out of the banks of the river, floods a subdivision, have people trapped in their homes. We would use our equipment, our rafts, to go in and remove people from their homes, and that includes pets, whatever might happen to be in the house. Depending on the depth of water, we could wade in, we can paddle in, we can actually use, we have a motorized boat that we'll show you later, that we can go in with also. Swift water event, it obviously is moving current. That means there's an incident on the river. Someone's came over a low-head dam, they're trapped, they're out here, the kayaking is huge these days. A lot of recreational kayakers get out, get in above their skill level, get trapped somewhere on the river, and we have to go out and get them. We've had a few of those incidents here lately. They're a little more dynamic. It's a lot more dangerous for our personnel. Have a lot of specialized equipment. We'll go over some of the equipment later. You know, we use the same age-old method that they've done for years, and that is reach, throw, row, and go. That's been taught for years. Lifeguard classes, whatever, you all teach the same. We use the same thing in swift water. If we can reach them with a pike pole, we have a hose that we can inflate that we can put out. If we can get them that way, then that's what we're going to use first because it's the safest method. The next method is going to be throw. I think you're going to do some throw bags with us a little bit later. And that would be our next method. It's a method we use a lot on people because it's really quick to get a rope to someone. Things to remember or consider when doing that though is that everybody on our side are trained responders. The people that we're throwing these ropes to aren't.
Right.
So they're not trained to look for a rope. So, but if you can get their attention, explain to them what's going on and get a rope to them, that's going to be a second option. The next thing that we're going to do is put our raft in. We're going to row, we're going to go out and get them. Again, you know, the level of danger to us goes up each time we do something a little bit different. We step it up. And last but not least, the most dangerous option for us is to actually put a swimmer in the water. We do this a bit, again, because a lot of our events are in the winter.
Right.
It's cold water. You have people who aren't trained rescuers in the water coming down the river. They don't know to look for a rope in the first place. Secondly, depending on how long they've been in the water, they're probably already hypothermic, so they may not be able to actually grip the rope. So in a case like that, we're going to have to put a swimmer in the water.
So I see that you have some gear that you're going to show us and walk us through today.
Sure, it's right over here. All right, with me I have firefighter Jeremy Spivey. Jeremy is one of our swiftwater rescue technicians, and Jeremy's dressed to go to work. This is our ensemble that we're going to wear anytime that we get near the water. People ask us even in the summer if we're going to wear these dry suits. It's always a good idea to, because remember we're dealing with floodwater. And when you're dealing with floodwater, you never know what's in it. I mean, there could be all types of chemical contamination, biological contamination. There's a lot of stuff in there. This suit protects us from that also. The least amount of exposed skin that we have, the safer we're going to be. In doing so, you can see the way Jeremy's dressed. He's got on a dry suit. This suit keeps him completely dry from the neck down. It's 100% waterproof. He has a helmet to protect his head. He has a special PFD that's made just for swiftwater rescue. It's got a little more flotation, which makes it a little more buoyant, so we float higher in real turbulent water or aerated water. It's also got what's called a blowout belt. And you can see here we've got a ring. We was talking about putting a swimmer on a rope. We're going to hook the rope into this ring. So we always have contact with Jeremy if he's in the water. The reason we do this, if you've ever water skied, if you're a water skier and you know, if you fall and you hang onto the rope, it's going to plane you to the bottom of the lake, that the current will. Same thing with the current of the river. If he's out there and the rope becomes entangled and stops Jeremy's movement, well, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to plane him to the bottom of the river. So what we have to do, we wear these vests, we hook to it. In the event that he does happen, that the rope gets snagged, whatever, the current pulls Jeremy under, then this will actually break loose. Is it loose? Come loose, and the rope will actually come off, and Jeremy at this point would be a free swimmer. We'd have safeties in place downriver, downstream, and they would be there to rescue Jeremy once he became free and come swimming by. Boots, protect their feet. Jeremy carries a knife in case he gets entangled in the rope or debris in the water. That's something that we always have to contend with.
He's got a whistle.
You got a whistle, safety whistle. And believe it or not, that is part of it. We become separated. We use whistles to actually locate ourselves. We also use it for signals. 2 blasts, 3 blasts, they all have a meaning that lets us all know what's going on. Because a lot of times, over the noise of the river on a real, a day with a lot of current, you can't hear anything but
Absolutely.
The water itself. So we have to use
imagine.
different tones. But that's pretty much the ensemble we're going to use anytime we get in the water.
Okay, and so obviously there are times that you're going to deploy either the water rescue boat or the raft. Tell us a little bit about those units.
We have an example of the 2 of the types of rafts that we carry. This is an inflatable raft that you paddle. The one behind it is actually motorized. We use the motorized boats more on the calmer water applications. You can use it in swift water applications. You have to be aware of debris in the water. It can become entangled around your propeller or the water pump impeller.
Okay.
It can really. We took these boats to South Carolina with us, and one of the issues we had there, we had a lot of debris in the water when we were using our motorized boats, and the majority of the time we wound up paddling them anyway because it got to the point to where we couldn't actually use the motor. Probably our first choice if we had to deploy a raft is going to be this raft here. It's actually our smaller raft. We have 2 of these in the department. We have 2 larger, and then we have the motorized.
How long does it take it to blow up to where you can use it?
This raft it's stored inflated.
Okay.
It's ready. When it sets actually on top of this on a trailer, anytime we deploy, it comes with us.
Okay.
Our 2 larger boats that we have on Rescue 7 and Rescue 9, it's a matter of just a couple of minutes to inflate it. We can inflate them. We can inflate them with our SCBA bottles.
Great.
So it's just a matter of minutes. It can be ready to deploy. This particular boat operates best with 2 to 3 people. 2 paddlers is optimum if they're trained to work together. And they set midship, and they can paddle and spin the boat. It's very maneuverable that way. The lighter you can keep the boat, the more maneuverable the boat is. The majority of the time for us, we're going to run a 3-man boat crew, and the reason is that's where the majority of our training is with 3-man boat crews. We're in the process of swapping that over to a 2-man because it makes a more maneuverable boat, like I said earlier, and it also leaves more room for your victim. In this boat, 3's fine. I wouldn't want to put any more than 3. Our big boat, you may have to actually go to 3 just for maneuverability purposes. Okay, this is our motorized raft. It's a hard bottom raft. We use, again, mostly for more calm water situations. You can't, as stated earlier, you can use it in swift water. You got to be really careful with it though, and have a really good crew that knows what's going on with it and understands how these motors work. Also, anytime we're in these boats, we're still going to have all the equipment in it to paddle it, because at any time that motor fails, then we're back to a paddle raft. But it's a really good option. We take it with us everywhere we go. Again, like I said, our first option is usually always going to be the paddle rafts, unless we get there and we see the conditions and we deem it's possible or maybe better to put this in. Then that's when we'll go to the inflatable motorized. Okay, Firefighter Spivey is getting ready. He's going to enter the water for us, and he's going to be a target, because what we're going to talk about now and let you do is actually throw one of our throw bags.
Okay.
A little bit about the throw bag. This is, they usually come anywhere from 25 for a really small one up to 75 feet of rope. And this is a special rope. It's polypropylene. It floats on top of water.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
you want to make sure that your throw bags are polypro. because you want them to float. Again, we're going to deploy this if we can get the victim's attention and we think that they're capable of actually grasping the rope. This is going to be something we're going to go to early on. In fact, we have a couple of engine companies now that are actually carrying PFDs and throw bags, because if they meet it, the chances are they may beat the special operations station in, depending on where we have to respond to.
Sure.
And this is just a really good tool that's easy to store, that they can get out, and with training, they can become proficient with this fairly easily.
Okay.
So again, this particular one is 75 foot Polypro rope. There's basically two ways you can throw this.
Okay.
And they're just exactly what they sound like. They're the underhand
Okay.
and an overhand.
Okay.
A rope this size, I prefer to throw underhanded. I feel like I'm more accurate with it.
Okay.
They make smaller ones. They even make them shaped like footballs, where you can actually throw it like a football.
Oh, wow.
The way you do this, or the way you want to do this, you want to put the rope on the downriver side.
Okay.
The reason behind that, if the water's moving this way, I've got this rope around me, I can throw this bag. Well, if he gets it and it loads the rope and it spins me, it's going to spin me back up bank, back up into the bank. If I have it the other way, if I have it deployed on this side of me, he loads the rope and I'm not expecting it, or current stronger than I'm expecting, and it pulls me, then it's going to pull me towards the river, and there's a possibility of me going in the water.
Right.
So you always want the rope on the downriver side. Bring it back around. You can hold the loop on it, or you can hold the bag itself. Some people prefer just to get a handful of the bag.
Okay.
And literally, all you do is you judge where he's at. Remember, he's in moving current, so it's just like leading with a football. If he's running, you've got to lead him. He's floating, he's moving. You just gauge where he's at, throw the bag.
Okay.
Once you throw it, get ready, because when he loads it, he's going to spin you. Well, if you want to, you're going to reload these ropes.
Okay.
We'll let you make a couple of practice throws, and then we'll put Firefighter Spivey in the water and see what you can do.
Sounds good. So I've got my fancy PFD on and my helmet. So what's next?
Okay, we've got our safety gear on. We have a downriver safety. We have Firefighter Spivey in the water.
Okay.
We're going to start with them as a stationary target.
Okay.
So I'm going to hand you the throw bag.
Okay.
Current's going this way, so that means we want the rope to deploy off this side of her body.
Okay.
So bring that around.
And I hold
you
this
right-handed
with this
or left-handed?
hand. I'm right-handed.
So you want to throw right-handed.
Okay.
So all you want to do is judge where Jeremy is. Now when you make your throw, try to throw it past Jeremy, because we'd rather it be too far out than too short.
But I don't want to hit the ducks.
You don't want to hit the duck that's going down the river right now.
Because firefighters like to save ducks, not hit them.
So be careful on this ramp. Make sure you don't slip when you throw it. But it's just like a softball throw.
Well, sorry, Jeremy.
I don't know what to say about that one. Now, one thing you can do, but
that is like my softball days.
Now, if this happens, I'll show you this real quick before we actually do it again. That does happen. We miss just like everybody else from time to time, maybe about
probably not like I did.
But so what you want to do then, just to quickly redeploy this rope, if you coil this rope, if you bring it back in, you actually quickly coil this rope up, judge his distance, break it into two parts.
Okay.
This is your bag rope, so I'm going to take this one in this hand, and you actually throw both ropes now. You've got both ropes in your hand, so you just toss them.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay, round two.
Yeah,
ready?
round two. We're gonna try it. I really hope I save you this time.
Whoop, whoop, there it is. At this point, Firefighter Spivey would do exactly what he's doing. He's going to throw it over his shoulder. You would anchor.
Right.
Of course, he's not in moving water, but the current itself would push him.
Okay.
And it would just pendulum right into the bank. Now, here's one of those cases where I was talking about we don't want to pendulum them into those trees.
Obviously.
So what you can do here, if you want me to demonstrate.
Sure.
is you can move up the bank. As he's coming in, you can move to try to keep him from spindling into the trees there.
Okay.
Okay, what we're gonna demonstrate now is we got a firefighter Spivey is gonna swim out into the current. He's gonna float by. Firefighter Liddell is gonna deploy his throw bag, throw it to firefighter Spivey, and we're gonna pull him out of the current. Firefighter Spivey is what we call the defensive swim position, or downriver swim. That's toes up. When you're in moving current, you always want to be able to see your toes, because one of the big dangers for us are foot entrapments. If our foot becomes lodged in a rock down low,
I just want to thank you guys, Captain Walls, firefighters Spivey and Liddell. Thank you so much for showing me what the water rescue team is about and a few of the techniques. I know that I probably wouldn't be a good part of the water rescue team, but I appreciate what you guys do.
well, thank you, and we appreciate you coming out and seeing it. You know, this is we really just kind of scratched the surface today, the basics of what we do, but you know, we're glad to show you anytime.
Well, we'll see you back on another show.
Wow, what a day! I learned a lot about water rescue from the crew at Station 7. I also learned that I'm not a good pinch hitter when it comes to rescuing a victim with a throw bag, even if they are in stagnant water. Good thing we have trained professionals to serve our citizens in both flooding and swiftwater emergencies.